Hey everyone, and welcome back! Today we are delving into the fascinating world of conjunctions, specifically these pesky little words that seem to be used interchangeably: although, even though, despite, and in spite of. You might have noticed they all seem to express a similar idea, a contrast or concession, but there are subtle differences in the usage. Don't worry, we're here to clear up the confusion and make these words your new best friends. First things first, let's separate the group into two camps. Camp 1, although, even though. Camp 2, despite, in spite of. Camp 1, the subject plus predicate camp. These three words, although, though, even though, are used in a similar way. They always take a subject and a predicate following them. Let's break it down. Although plus subject plus predicate. For example, although the weather was terrible, we still went to the beach. Although is followed by the subject, the weather, and the predicate was terrible. Even though plus subject plus predicate. For instance, even though she studied hard, she failed the exam. Even though is followed by the subject she and the predicate studied. Though plus subject plus predicate. To demonstrate, he finished the race though he was exhausted. Though is followed by the subject he and the predicate was exhausted. Camp 2. The noun, pronoun, gerund fact camp. This is where things get interesting. Despite and in spite of are used differently. They are followed by a noun, pronoun, gerund, a verb with the ending in, or the phrase the fact that, followed by a subject and a predicate. Despite plus noun. To illustrate, despite the rain, we had a great time. Despite is followed by the noun, the rain. In spite of plus pronoun. Let's say, in spite of him, I enjoyed the party. In spite of is followed by the pronoun him. Despite plus gerund. For instance, despite being tired, she kept working. Despite is followed by the gerund being. Despite plus the fact that plus subject plus predicate. Take this case for instance. Despite the fact that he was injured, he finished the race. Despite is followed by the phrase the fact that, the subject he and the predicate was injured. Now it's your turn to test your knowledge. Choose the correct conjunction to complete each sentence. Remember, sometimes more than one answer might be possible. Despite, in spite of the rain, the picnic was still fun. We need a word that can be followed by a noun, the rain. Despite and in spite of are the correct choices here. He went to the party although he was tired. This sentence needs a conjunction that takes a subject and a predicate. He was tired. Although is the correct choice. In spite of her efforts, she didn't win the race. This sentence requires a conjunction that takes a pronoun and a noun, her efforts. In spite of works here. Despite, in spite of the fact that she was nervous, she gave a great presentation. We need a word that can be followed by the fact that, and then a subject and a predicate. She was nervous. Despite and in spite of are the correct choices. We enjoyed the concert despite in spite of the loud music. We need a word that can be followed by a noun, the loud music. Despite and in spite of are the best choices. See, mastering these conjunctions isn't as daunting as it might seem. Remember to pair although, even though, and though with a subject and a predicate. Despite and in spite of can be followed by nouns, pronouns, gerunds, and the phrase the fact that, followed by a subject and a predicate. Keep practicing, and soon these words will become second nature to you. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.